Hello and welcome everyone to the February 20th episode of This Week in Kirkland, the official podcast of the City of Kirkland, bringing you timely topics and noteworthy news delivered to you every week. I'm your host, Jim Lopez, one of two deputy city managers here at the city, joined today by two members of our podcast team,
Angela Brown
and David Walbrecht,
as well as our very special guest, Animal Control Officer Angela Arnold. Welcome,
Hello.
Angela.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Oh, we're going to talk about animals today.
How apropos. Yeah.
We're going to tell some stories. And as part of that, we're excited to hear all about Responsible Pet Ownership Month and the latest news in the animal world. Responsible pet ownership.
Responsible. Yes, month.
Yes, it's a whole month, Jim.
The whole month.
Wow.
Yes.
The other 11 months, you can be as irresponsible as
Yeah.
Well,
Please don't make my job harder.
I think the idea is you take a month to focus on being a responsible pet owner,
Yeah.
and that just opens the door to another 11 months. Of,
You practice it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, Angela, what are you doing for fun these days?
Well, when I'm not with our animals, I'm on the other side of the mountains enjoying
Oh.
my property.
That
Oh,
sounds
wow.
Family and friends, yeah.
Where is that?
It's in Eastern Washington.
Oh,
Eastern
Manson.
Washington.
Ooh,
That's nice.
Manson, that's a great area.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Lovely views.
Yes.
Nice. Has there been a lot of snow and stuff to get over there?
Yes, this last weekend we had about a foot of snow,
Woo.
so the kids got to sled.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
what
a-
Oh, that's
yeah,
fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You know what I used to do when we were in Maryland? I would, when it snowed, we had like a snowmageddon, kind of famous, years ago.
Okay.
I built a bobsled course.
A
What?
Wow.
course. I
Yeah,
love
of course.
this.
Wow.
Because you know what I
Impressive.
want? I wanted the sleds to go up high on the wall.
Yeah,
you know, when
totally.
they turn.
Yeah.
Well,
The whole neighborhood came. The kids were going
Were
bananas.
you running heats?
Oh, I was running heat.
hang on. Was this regulation standard, Jim?
It was like Olympic.
Yeah, it was.
It was
Okay.
Olympic quality.
Gotcha.
That's
Half a
pretty cool.
mile.
Do you have
of-
some nice hills?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little nervous that the kids would slide all the way down to the
like-
road.
yeah.
And they're in Lake Chelan.
Like Christmas vacation style,
Yeah.
you know?
Because sometimes
Oh,
those
that's
sleds get
amazing.
rolling
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
just, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, geez.
So I had to kind of
Okay.
stand there and
Yeah.
watch.
Okay.
It's so great. And then you're all wet and cold, but you're having a ball. And then you go in for a nice hot chocolate or something.
Mhm.
Well, that sounds great.
I know.
Nice core childhood
Fireplace.
memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. All right. Well, all right. Back to our soggy winter
Yes.
on the
All right,
west
well,
side of the
back on-
mountains.
On this side of the mountains, let's talk a little bit about what's happening in Kirkland this week. The city is hosting a couple of community forums on homelessness, and your voice matters. David, how can folks take part in that?
Yeah. So we have two forums coming up. One of them is filled up actually, but we still have spots for next
First one
Wednesday.
is at capacity.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is great. A lot of
That's great.
Yeah, a lot of folks turning out. So February 26th is next Wednesday. We still have some spots. You can join city leaders and your neighbors at Lake Washington Institute of Technology and share your thoughts and help shape the city's response to homelessness.
And we'll be there.
That's so cool.
We will be there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We'll
You
be
can-
there. We won't have microphones. For the
Probably
podcast.
not. Yeah. No, you might when you're giving a
Yeah,
little
presentation.
presentation. Yeah.
Mhm.
But come talk to us about homelessness.
Yeah, it's going to be really edifying.
Absolutely.
Hey, if you have hard to recycle items, we have information about our super helpful recycling events. Angela, what's coming up?
Kirkland coordinates 4 recycling events a year, and the first one in 2025 is coming up this April.
Nice.
So for year-round drop-off options like textiles, electronics, paint, check out that Recycling Beyond the Cart webpage for more information.
So bring your clothes that you don't want anymore.
Well, I've got like a bag of those.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
stuff.
know this was coming up.
Can you bring a couch?
Ooh,
Check out the webpage.
yeah, I gotta check out the webpage. I'm
Did I
not
throw
sure.
Did I throw
Good question, Jim.
I thought it was a good question, Anthony.
Yeah.
Just throw electronics.
Electronics.
Yeah.
Definitely bring a laptop.
Absolutely.
Nuclear waste.
All those old Christmas lights that aren't working.
Mhm.
Right?
I'm
Right.
not saying I have a couch. I'm just saying, can
Saying,
you?
could you bring one? Okay.
I will check the website.
Well, if
Okay.
you theoretically have other things too, you can
Yes.
bring those.
Hey, everybody, mark your calendars for May 13th. That's Kirkland's biggest night of appreciation.
Woohoo.
And David, I think we have something new this year
Mhm.
on Community Appreciation Night.
Yeah, that's right. So, Community Appreciation Night is, of course, our annual tradition to celebrate our incredible volunteers, board and commission members, all the people who really spend that time making Kirkland great. And this year, as you teased, Jim, we
Yeah.
have something brand new.
Mm.
Super
Gonna be
exciting.
amazing.
Yeah, so the mayor will be giving her State of the City
Oh,
address.
very nice.
Yes, this is the first time we're doing it at this event. It's
Yeah,
at
it's
the
at the Kirkland Performance Center.
Exactly. So
Wow.
come on down. There'll be some red carpet. Some, not sure the paparazzi will be there. But...
Paparazzi will be there.
Oh, okay. Jim's getting
And
them. Okay.
I think there may be music and dance.
Oh.
There often is.
Yeah.
It might be a. I don't know. We can tease this as
We like to celebrate.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So anyway, so save the date.
Yep.
May 13th evening, and much more info to come.
And we are absolutely committed to fill every seat. So everybody knows.
Okay, 402.
402. You got to get your tickets.
Okay,
And you can bring family and friends.
that's good.
All right, more to follow on that. Big
Yep.
night.
Okay.
Hey, speaking of making a difference, donating blood is one of the easiest ways that you can do that. Angela, how can folks donate?
Yes, there's a drive coming to the North Kirkland Community Center on March 10th. As a bonus, donors in March are eligible to enter to win a dream trip to Kauai.
Whoa, all right.
That's amazing.
I just have to say, I think the blood donation events have the best prizes.
Best
That's
swag. Yeah,
Honestly.
Absolutely.
The
chance
best
to
Don't you
win
prize.
Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah.
I mean, every year.
A trip to Kauai. I'm just saying.
As if donating blood to save a life wasn't enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like, here's paradise.
Yeah.
That's pretty
It's
great.
true. It's like commensurate with the action that you do for the
Like-
common good.
Yep.
Mhm.
Wow, I want
Right.
to go to Jurassic Park.
That is where they shot it.
Oh,
It's great stuff.
I didn't know that.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, we're
go
going to
on.
have all information about this in the show notes.
And Jurassic. No, just about the blood drive.
And
Okay.
about the blood drive. Hey, point A to point B with no parking required.
Yes, please.
Now you're talking.
Ah.
David, tell us more about Metroflex.
That is right, Jim. Rideshare. Think of it like rideshare, but for the price of a bus ticket. So I don't know the last time you took like an Uber, Lyft, what have you.
Little pricey.
A little pricey.
Yeah.
You know, depends. Surge pricing, all that stuff. What if you could do that for the price of bus fare? It's like $3,
Wow.
if that. So you just enter your pickup and drop off spots, and a minivan will take you to where you need to go.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, check it out. Book your ride and learn more. kingcounty.gov/metroflex.
And if you go on an adventure,
Yeah.
write to us here at the podcast.
Yeah, we'd love to
We'll talk about it.
spotlight it.
What do you think about
Mhm.
that idea?
That's a great idea.
Anthony?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Should
That's
send
two.
a camera along.
2 ideas.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're passionate about sustainability, and we are, we've got an opportunity to share with you. Angela?
The Tilth Alliance, a regional nonprofit focused on food systems and the environment, is looking for new soil and water stewards. Over the 8-month course, learn and apply skills like building garden beds and compost systems, installing rainwater catchment, and creating habitat for wildlife. Applications close on March 5th.
That's got to be one of the coolest names.
That is so cool.
I am a soil and water steward.
yeah.
Come on.
Super
So
cool.
wholesome. I love
Yeah.
How
that.
great is that?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Build.
What do you do to volunteer for the good of this wonderful city?
Oh, I steward soil and water.
Pretty amazing. That's
No,
got to
love
be like
that.
a
No big
royal,
deal.
a royal, position.
love
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, back in the
Applications
day.
close March 5th.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah, so get your application in. Hey, the last meeting of the Kirkland City Council was on Tuesday, February 18th. Here's what happened. On the business agenda, Council received an update on the 2025 legislative session.
Yep. Prior to the business agenda, during the study session, council discussed the Metro Rapid Ride K-Line project.
Council meetings, everybody, are streamed live on the city's YouTube channel, Facebook page, and on the city's website. So make sure to tune in if you missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody. Yesterday, council members went down to Olympia. David, what was happening with that?
Yeah, so Kirkland council members and some support staff went down to Olympia yesterday, and they're there again today,
Yeah.
Thursday, talking with state legislators. They're meeting with the governor's office, doing some workshops, that sort of thing. Basically just advocating for Kirkland and the benefit of our community down with the folks in the legislature.
Yeah, it's
right
very
now.
important how state
Definitely.
law impacts our local laws
Mhm.
Yeah,
and
big,
how we run the city.
yeah, big time.
And I really like Olympia.
Mhm.
You know, I haven't really been there much.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah, I was there in like high school
Ah.
once.
Mhm.
Haven't really
I
been
think it's
there
a really
much.
cool city.
Yeah,
Okay, I just drive through it.
I love driving and seeing the Capitol Dome
Yeah.
poking out through
Yeah.
the trees when you're driving down south. It's
Yeah,
just beautiful.
totally.
I've stopped by and got coffee a couple
Oh.
of places down there. It's
Oh, nice.
lovely. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
they've got-
capital,
Agreed.
but it's got a laid back vibe.
Hey,
Yeah.
there you go.
Very
Okay.
It
nice.
does.
Very nice.
Okay.
So, Angela, you have an upcoming event for us to check out.
Wheels and Reels is back this winter.
Wheels and Reels.
Into spring, yeah. First up, this Saturday, February 22nd, we'll be viewing Strange World at Juanita Beach Park at 6 p.m. Registration is required.
All right, so check it out, everybody. Strange World at Juanita Beach. And a reminder, as always, we have links and more information in the show notes for all of our items.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to our 5 over 5. That's 5 questions in what is sure to be over 5 minutes with our special guest. Welcome, Angela Arnold,
Hello.
our animal control officer.
Yeah, welcome back.
It's all about animals this week.
It's true. You can
This
be
month.
you can be
Yeah.
a soil and water
Water
steward
steward.
and a animal steward.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's a
Just help out,
stretch.
just-
Anyway,
The community are animal stewards.
Oh,
they help me out. They
nice.
really do.
yeah, Angela, you
Yes.
stuck the landing on that one.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
stuck that landing. That was great. So, Angela, you've been on the show before.
Yes.
Yes, we've had a lot of fun. But we do want to remind everybody who might be wondering, what does an animal control officer do?
So to simplify it, I protect animals from people and people from animals.
I like that.
Ooh, that is a
Wow.
really
Yes.
nice, succinct answer.
How about
Yes.
animals from animals?
Mm.
That too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Good point.
because
Yeah,
every
ooh.
once in a while when you go to the dog park
Mhm.
or walking down the street.
Right.
Yeah.
And that leads me to my point of leashing your dogs.
She's just ready to go.
Yeah.
All right.
I am.
Well, that's great. But you are the point of contact for the city when you have a question about animals, right?
Yes.
And it's not just dogs and cats.
No, there are the questions of our wild animals
Yeah.
that we have in our city. Yeah.
Did you ever encounter a reptile?
Well, no, not yet. We did in Bothell. They had 2 pythons.
Wow.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
golly.
Really?
Okay.
Did they call
Yes.
for like help?
No, she didn't. I mean, they're not that hard to actually grab on,
Yeah.
and you put them in a bin, and
They're
But
happy.
if you were called on a call and you had to wrestle up what kind of snake was it? A
Python?
python?
Are you
Are
wrestling?
you ready to do that?
you have to be.
You have to be.
Yeah, I
Wow.
might call in, some reinforcements.
I'd call them
depending
Marines.
on the size. they can get very large.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're strong. They're not super fast.
Yeah,
though,
not quick.
right?
No.
Yeah, it's not like
No.
They're
it's
not
not like
quick.
the movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not
No.
going to
Like
be.
a cobra in there.
No.
No, and Burmese pythons are kind of like the golden retriever of the snake. They're
Oh,
like,
is that right?
okay, hi.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Oh, is this a bin?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Right.
So
yeah.
mostly you're getting calls for dogs.
Dogs
cats,
and cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
of course, our wildlife.
wildlife.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we got to
All right.
talk all about the wildlife. All right. Well, thank you for doing the wonderful work you do. We love our animals here in the city of
Mhm.
Kirkland. Now, you're going to talk about being a responsible pet owner,
Yes.
right? Because it's Responsible Pet Owner Month.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, what are like
absolutely.
3 things that would indicate you're dealing with a responsible pet owner?
Doing your due diligence, getting to know the breed and comparing them to your lifestyle.
Oh, that's a great
Yeah.
one.
Wow.
Right?
yeah,
Because if
research.
you're living in a house with a nice big yard and have a lot of time and you can have that husky or that
Yeah.
German
Mm,
Shepherd that
mhm.
requires all that.
Yeah.
If you live in an apartment, a smaller dog would probably be
Might
a
be
better
better.
match.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's mostly like environmental things, like how compatible is the dog with your lifestyle and the daily operation? Because I talk about my pets all the time. They're
That's
since
true.
deceased, but
Mm.
I love them dearly.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And Gracie was a golden retriever, and she fit into our lifestyle great. We had so much fun. We go to the park every weekend, but she didn't like to wear the New England Patriots sweatshirt.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Good
that can be a
taste,
challenge,
Gracie.
Jim. You got to really
Should
do
I?
your due diligence.
I know, but
Yeah.
you're not talking about that kind of. That's a lot of due diligence. Now, I'm sure Gracie loved the Patriots, but
Was she a Seahawks fan? through and
might have
through?
been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
she might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, but you're thinking about, making sure that, when you get up in the morning, your dog's going to have a great day.
Right. And if you have time, take your dog for a nice little walk before you go
Yeah.
to work. It gets some of that anxious, nervousness out of their system,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Okay, what's
Yeah.
the second one?
Well, licensing, microchipping, having that ID on your animal
Oh, you got to do
is
that.
is
Mhm.
key. It makes my job easier, but then, we can get those animals right back to where they live.
It's how we care for our animals, really. Like we
Yes.
need,
Mm-hmm.
we make sure that the animals are safe and that people are safe. You have to get your vaccinations, right? Part of that.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So not only do you want to make sure that they have all the necessary, parvo, distemper, all of that, but rabies vaccinations for cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, so you register your pets, you're doing all that good stuff, and that revenue goes to the city to help care for our animals.
Yeah, it goes to animal control.
Yeah, it goes to animal control. Helps you
Right.
do your job.
Right, because we have a lot of strays, and we need to get the care for them.
Yeah.
Right.
But do we have like an animal, a fun animal license your pet campaign coming up or something like that?
Yeah, we kind of always running something.
Yeah.
We'd like to.
Instagram.
Yeah. I think we did something tied to Valentine's Day
Valentine's
recently.
Day, yeah.
But
We did over Halloween too. We did a little
costume thing, yeah.
license your pet.
Oh, those are adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah. People come up with the greatest costumes for their pets.
My God.
True.
And sometimes the pets are like, look at me. And sometimes they're like Gracie with the sweater. They're like, yeah, no, don't really want to look like a pumpkin.
I already got a coat, Dad.
That's
Yeah.
right. Don't need a coat.
They're like, I'm gonna leave you a present somewhere.
I'm going to communicate with you in a very special way. More on that in a minute, because we were having some fun in the pre-show about your dog's behavior when they're going to the bathroom.
Yes. So your dog isn't locking eyes with you just because they're being weird.
Yeah.
They're looking at you because they're like, you have my back, right? I'm in a vulnerable position here.
Oh, it's like a safety thing.
It's a safety
It is.
thing.
Yeah, they're like-
absolutely.
So while you're saying, oh, what a sweet puppy.
Like we're
Your pup's going like, you know what's going on here? Like,
right.
Scan for threats.
Yeah,
Right.
scan for
Yeah.
threats.
So when you're taking your dog outside to go potty, scan your yard, make sure there's no wild animals back there, and
okay.
see
Yeah.
that your dog's back.
Nice.
Dogs
And
are so smart.
we'll get to that more.
I mean,
in a
cats are
minute.
super smart too.
Mm.
All right. Well, those are 3 really great tips. Do your due diligence on the breed, right?
Right.
That's number
Licensing.
1.
Yep.
Licensing number 2,
Yep.
and vaccinations.
Boom.
And
And
you do all that, you're living up to the month's goal.
Wow.
Right.
And
Being-
it's important to point out, I think, too, that Kirkland has a pet licensing requirement outside of the county.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have to.
Yes.
Yeah,
do-
that can be confusing for some.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
So
So
let's explain that.
yeah,
Mhm.
Angela, the
Right.
difference?
So every city has some kind of requirement for licensing.
mhm.
I mean, we have King County that license the county,
Yeah.
right? If you fall into that RASC, or your Regional Animal
Yeah.
Services of King County,
I
right?
see. Okay.
Mhm.
But Kirkland has its own.
Okay.
And yeah.
So folks don't need to register their pets with King County
No.
because Kirkland has its own
Correct.
license. Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Yes.
cool. Thanks. Well, that's good to know.
Mm.
All right.
Good to know. And
1, 2, 3.
super important. So while I have you here, I have a couple of questions that have been nagging me a little bit.
Okay.
Can we go into that?
I think we already have, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've started.
I've
Let's
already
go.
started
yeah,
down
yeah,
that path.
Yes.
We've opened the door.
That's a
So,
rhetorical question.
Can I ask you, like, after the national championship football game a couple of years ago, there was a little frustration here. There was a great game. A couple of calls I didn't think was that great. But, the refs have a tough job. Did you notice that the Husky population was upset after that game?
I had a couple escapees.
Did
Oh,
you really?
wow.
They were super irritated, nervous. They're like, what is going on?
People think
I'm
I'm
outta
making this
here.
up.
Yeah.
No, that's validation.
Why
right
is
there.
this happening?
Huskies weren't happy.
Yeah.
Huskies, no.
Well,
Feeding off of their owner's energy.
yeah,
you
they're
know?
just like, I'm going to dig my way out of the yard today.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
totally.
Okay.
So do you notice, like, during the Apple Cup that the Huskies aren't getting along with the feline population in the area? The
know,
cats?
It could be a very good possibility.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be any kind of cat.
Oh, any kind of cat.
I mean, goodness knows what's going up in Eastern Washington when the Cougars come out.
Well, yeah, watch out.
But anyway, all right, so you're totally validating my hypothesis.
Well, Jim, correlation does not lead to causation
Oh, that's true.
necessarily.
Yes, good point.
But it's it more testing needed, perhaps.
Yeah, okay, well, it's good to know, though. I guess there's kind of like anecdotal evidence.
There you go.
I'll have to run stats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Next
could you
time.
run that stat? I'd like to put that on the animal control officer.
Yeah,
dashboard
wow,
to
we saw a
council.
real spike
Yeah.
on Sundays.
What's going on
of-
with during the Apple Cup particularly?
Yeah,
I want to know
exactly.
if there's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've got a couple other key things you're watching, right? Because right now we're in this particular season, our wild animals are particularly rambunctious. Do I have that right?
We are in mating season.
Mating season.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's typically from late December to March.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why we're seeing a little bit of a bump up in the sightings of
So we're seeing a lot of
coyotes.
coyotes and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's happening with that?
So basically they are looking for food when they're out and about.
Yeah. Kind of like me.
Yeah, well,
Fair.
Fair enough.
So, what I would say is don't provide them with a food
Yes.
source.
Yeah.
Okay, so if your neighbor's feeding all the wild animals
That's a
in their
no.
yard next door,
Oh.
maybe you might want to say, hey,
Yeah.
you are attracting the big ones too by
Yeah.
feeding the little
Oh,
ones.
gotcha. They're just making little buffet items for
Absolutely.
the drive-through coyote.
Mhm.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And it just seems like there's a lot of wild animals. Like there's a lot of rabbits.
Well,
Do I
that's
have that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about, Angela? Is that right?
We do. Unfortunately, they're in my yard eating my grasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Happens.
do welcome the coyotes a little bit. I want them to kind of keep the population down.
Yeah, there you go.
know?
I remember a story with my Grace. One day she came into the house and there was something in her mouth. There was like a little leg hanging out of her mouth.
Oh.
Oh no.
Sort of. So she looked at me with those curious eyes.
Like, hey,
Hey,
look what I
I
found.
got something. So she opens her mouth and out pops a baby rabbit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Alive?
Happy as can be.
Yeah, still
Oh,
She
alive.
had
yeah.
a very soft mouth. It was like maybe a little ding on her leg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was very, so
Yeah.
the rabbit was in fine shape, happy as can be, flying around my house. So we found the rabbit, we got the rabbit, we put it outside. She goes and gets another one, brings it in. Same thing. The baby rabbit's fine. So we, Grace. I mean, she was proud to,
Oh yeah.
Can we keep it?
we put
Yeah.
it out there. So, so the years go by and my dog Gracie passed away. And then after that happened, I saw 2 rabbits sitting right outside my door.
That's a sign.
Oh, they're
And
like,
I'm like, I bet you those are the
Yeah,
baby
they-
rabbits growing up.
So sweet.
oh,
Yeah.
Hmm.
That was what I thought.
well,
It's
Coming
a
back to see
Sweet idea.
if Gracie's hanging around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Anyway.
really sweet.
Yeah. So that's my rabbit story.
Okay. I love it.
All right. So we got to not feed the wild animals, right? It's silly season. They're out there
Yes.
everywhere.
Mhm.
And we have a lot of coyotes. We got a lot of rabbits.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be in Kirkland.
well,
It's a great place.
yeah, they've been here. Yeah,
They have been here. Yes.
So yeah, I was walking Haku the other night, and a coyote just like trotted right on by, like maybe
Wow.
20 feet away, and then
Wow.
like turned and just was like staring at.
Oh, was the coyote staring you down?
Well, I think it was more like eyeing
out.
if like could I eat that little dog? And then
So
and-
the
and-
coyote
and-
was
yeah, just like
sizing.
is this worth it? And yeah, and like I mean, Haku was like not having it and
Yeah.
started wailing.
Haku was ready to roll.
Oh, Haku was like,
not,
let's do this.
Let's do this.
Yeah. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
look at the coyote. So I should have been a little bit
A little
more
more.
like, do I have your back?
Yeah.
Haku.
Think of that.
Yeah, exactly.
experience.
Yeah.
You're staring at the
So-
coyote
But
and
you
the
had a-
Haku's trying to make eye
Yeah,
contact.
yeah, that's right.
You had a leash on Haku,
Yeah.
right? So,
Absolutely. Always
okay.
do. Yeah, with her
Yeah.
harness.
So
Yeah.
you're being a responsible pet owner.
Yes, we
So that's-
we try to do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, even though
Very nice.
the coyotes look like dogs, right? Part of the canine family, they're not dogs. They're wild animals. So like they'll come up and look like they're wagging their tail. It's like that's not a sign to play with them. And I've seen a lot of people with dogs that are dog friendly be like, "Oh, look, it's a little pup,"
Yeah.
and like maybe my dog will play with it. Like, no.
No.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Wild animals are wild.
They're wild.
Mhm.
Well, and they're typically in prey drive.
Yeah.
And you can see it in
Whoa.
their tails,
Mhm.
their positioning of their tails and their
Wow.
ears. Yeah.
So you got like
Yeah.
all the body language cues down.
Well, I have to with dogs.
Totally.
Approaching dogs, you have to know what you're seeing because
Okay.
they are communicating
You
with
got to
you.
read the
Yeah.
signs.
You do.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
So it probably makes a lot of sense to like mind your cats during this
Mhm.
time.
Yes. And that was going to be my next thing to
Mm.
point out.
Mhm.
Bring your cats indoors at night, especially because unfortunately I have been seeing a lot of missing cat posters.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because the coyotes are going after the cats.
Right. And when you're feeding wild animals, you're bringing those coyotes into
the area.
Your neighborhood.
Starts to become,
and if they don't get a wild animal, your cat could be
on the menu. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
Yeah.
sad.
So you bring cats in at night, you probably should make sure you're vigilant and looking over your yard, right?
Absolutely, especially with animals that are under 50 pounds.
Okay, it's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of
So your smaller
dogs.
dogs,
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
I remember, so my cat, Martin, he was bright white with a top hat. Like he had a little top hat.
Like a little coloration
Yeah.
of his fur.
Oh, I
Like a
thought you
little
actually put a top hat.
yeah, yeah. We've been talking about costumes. Right?
Yeah. So Martin, adorable. One night he got out. When we first came to Kirkland years ago, I was like panicked
Mm-hmm.
because he's like a neon sign for like cats in the neighborhood
Yeah.
at night.
Absolutely,
Like-
yeah.
Jeez.
But we got him.
Okay,
I
well,
was
that's good.
really
That's
worried.
good.
Probably
Yeah.
overreacted a little bit.
Aw.
Well,
No, it's
better to.
It's your fur baby.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
out there yelling, Martin, Martin. People are like, could you keep it down? I'm like, no,
I cannot.
I cannot.
Thank you very much for the question.
We found him.
That's good.
Good.
Anyway,
Okay.
you got to be mindful, particularly now.
Yes.
Well, what else do we need to know about wild animals? And-
Okay, so
yeah.
if you were to come across like a coyote or a bobcat,
yeah.
being loud, waving your hands around,
Yeah.
yelling,
Kind of
looking
like with a bear.
right, looking bigger,
Okay.
than what you are. And
Mhm.
don't, you were mentioning that, oh, look at the coyote.
Yeah.
No, make sure you're creating an environment that they're like, oh,
Oh,
goodness.
sorry. Mhm.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I'll just
I'll keep
take
going.
off.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Should have been
Although,
less
are you supposed
hospitable.
to be loud with a bear?
Yeah.
Depends on
Yes.
the bear, right?
Depends on
Well,
the bear.
bears in our area, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
it's
that's
good
really
point.
good.
Yeah.
That's really good advice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's kind of like the most wild type of animal you've had to deal with lately?
Well, it's not native to Washington, but it kind of falls under the domestic animal. But I did have a pair of peafowl.
Peafowl.
What's a peafowl?
Peafowl, peacock, and
Oh,
peahen.
Ah.
Peacock, peahen.
Yes, yes.
Umbrella term, peafowl.
And we coined them as Bonnie and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, you got to tell us this story.
So it had been
Bonnie
going
and
on.
Clyde.
Yeah.
Bonnie
and Clyde.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they had been kind of roaming the Bridle Trails neighborhood
Yeah.
for weeks.
Oh,
I'd show up,
terrorizing.
they'd be
Okay.
gone. They were
Oh my gosh.
elusive. They
Oh
kept
my- I
moving.
love
Wow.
these
One
two.
step
On the
ahead.
run.
Yeah.
Yes,
These
one
two.
step ahead. Just
Jason
like,
Bourne of
Oh.
the peafowl. Okay.
They're like, Angela's on the way. Tom,
Yeah.
we got 10 seconds.
Yeah.
oh, it was so
I
frustrating.
wonder if they had like a lookout tower. They were like,
They do fly onto roofs and,
Right,
and
they-
trees.
they go
Oh
pretty
my
high.
gosh.
Yes.
Called it.
That's
They like-
what they do that at night, especially to get
okay.
away from prey.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Avoid
They're
the
smart.
coyotes.
So
Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde, they're super smart.
Okay.
Pecking their
Very.
names into a wall
Yeah.
before they flee the area.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
So they're robbing banks around bridle trails or whatever the peafowl equivalent
Taking whatever food they can find.
There it is.
Because
Okay,
they're
got
kind
it.
of
Yeah.
omnivore type
of
birds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They can
Yeah.
be brutal.
Right. So
Okay.
they found a home. This man was feeding them for about 2 weeks.
Oh boy.
He took them in,
Oh, okay.
created a whole environment on this back porch for them,
Whoa.
took care of them.
He kind of adopted them.
He did. And then he called me and said, "Hey, I really think these birds need to have a permanent home.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
I've been taking care of them. I know they've been out and about in the neighborhood. So anyway,
Okay.
Well, that's really cool. So
Yeah.
he says, all right, I think the time has come.
the time has come. Yep. So I called around, tried to find some people that would be interested in maybe adopting because we did not know where these birds came from.
So you can
Wow.
adopt peafowl?
Well, if
Link in
you
the show
have
notes.
the property,
I didn't know. Did you know that?
I didn't.
I didn't know
Like I
that.
thought you could at the zoo, but I didn't know like
There
bring
are-
them into the house.
there are
Yeah.
bird rescues and,
right.
yeah. So we did find a gentleman that was able to take them in. He was able to get them trapped before I could get out
Oh,
there.
you have to tell this story. Like,
Stole my thunder.
Sorry. So, okay. So So now you know where they are, but you still have to get them, right?
Right.
And we know Bonnie and Clyde are very, very
Mobile.
Yes.
And they're smart.
And they can get onto a roof.
They
So
get
we did
onto a
not.
God, that's literally the Jason Bourne movies,
Yeah.
as far as I'm
Yeah,
concerned.
there's a lot of Jason Bourne in the story.
Okay, so
right.
you come up with a plan.
Yes. So when I talked to the gentleman, I said, hey, this would be a good thing for us to maybe get the animals to go into the garage.
Okay.
To kind of wrangle them in there.
So we're like in the movie,
It's
we're
a
seeing
sting.
the montage,
entrapment,
of you
Yeah.
like drawing with like arrows and a circle,
Almost like
and,
a bait and
schematics.
switch too, because we
Oh.
move the food and
Ooh.
kind of
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting some incentive out there.
Okay.
Right. So that was the plan. So the gentleman went out there. All the cars were moved out of the garage. It was.
Nice. The
But
scene
he
was set.
failed
Scene
to
was
call me.
Oh, he didn't call you.
He just
He just
went for it.
implemented.
Well, and he has the birds. He has his own
Okay.
flock.
Oh,
if you
okay. So
will.
he's like, I got this.
He's seasoned.
So
He
he's
knows
a
what he's
peacock
doing.
farmer.
you keep doing the work across Kirkland. I got this one. And
Right,
then you're
yeah.
like, but this was a partnership.
I wanted.
You
I-
wanted the
I-
like selfie with the
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was your idea.
Well,
That counts.
maybe.
Oh, I think that's a big deal.
He's the hero in the story.
Yeah, well now we all know that it was a
There are a
shared
few heroes.
yeah.
There are a few heroes. Don't forget the montage scene in the movie with you, and as David pointed out, with all the arrows.
Yeah.
and the-
Yeah, and the schematics.
Diagram.
And,
That's
yeah,
like the
it's
guy in the chair, right?
Yeah.
In
I wrote
in
the
trope.
story, but I didn't get to make the movie.
Yeah.
well,
Right.
directors also get Academy Awards. So
So you got Bonnie and Clyde.
We did.
Okay.
He did.
He did.
He did.
And so now they're on the farm?
They're at a farm in Snohomish and living their best life with other peafowl.
I grew up, my neighborhood growing up was called Peacock Farms.
Jim, whoa.
I know that's a
I feel
slight
like
non sequitur, but I just thought I'd throw it in there.
I feel like all moments in your life have led to this
Yeah.
interview, Jim.
I
That's
grew
interview.
up on a farm as well.
Did you?
Yes.
Well,
With
I didn't grow up
peacocks?
on a farm. It was just
No,
a
we
pub.
did not have
Oh,
peacocks.
okay.
Cows, pigs, chickens,
Wow.
a couple
okay.
dogs,
Wow.
Hey, there
barn
you go.
cats.
Oh, nice. That's like
Yeah.
a proper farm.
That's
Yeah.
a proper.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine was like a contemporary neighborhood. But it was called Peacock Farm.
Peacock Farms, indeed.
Well, what a great story.
Wow.
Yeah.
And happy ending for Bonnie
Day
and
in the
Clyde.
life
It was,
of our
yes.
amazing animal control officer.
Wow.
I think, honestly, no problem at all putting that on the police dashboard as a major success.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't
it
you
was
think?
it was a running joke for a while.
Was it?
Oh,
Yeah, oh,
okay.
yes.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, well, we have one more question for you.
Okay.
What are you watching, reading, listening to for fun these days?
This might be cliche, but I do like to watch Animal Control
Yes!
with Bill
So
McHale.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Okay. Is it so?
Wait, is that on Peacock or is that Fox?
I believe it's Fox.
It's an animal network.
It's not-
I
nonetheless.
stream it, so
Okay, well,
yeah.
there you go.
It has to be
Yeah.
on an animal network.
well played, Anthony.
Well played.
So that's pretty accurate to like the day in, day out. Is that right?
No,
It's like
not
a police
so
show.
Not so
much.
much.
Of course, that's how it works.
Yeah, all the time.
Just
yeah.
like Parks and Rec.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
is wrapped up
Yeah.
in a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
No.
It's like when I was practicing law and I'd watch a trial show on TV. I'm like, no, nope,
Law and Order's not true to life.
no. There's probably some
Mm.
moments,
Sure,
in
yeah.
there, but you know, like how the trials go.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
No,
The attorneys aren't out on the stakeout.
Objection. yeah.
but you like the
The show Animal
the show
Control.
Animal Control.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just the whole kind of comedy of it, right?
Yeah.
There is a lot of comedy in dealing with animals.
Mhm.
They're unpredictable. You don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen. So,
Okay. Wow.
And they're adorable
yes.
So
most
have,
of the time.
have you interacted with many ostrich
No.
in Kirkland? Okay.
No, thankfully.
Okay.
Maybe someday in Bridal Trails where they have more room for
Well,
those
yeah,
kind of
that's true.
animals.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Emu.
But
Ostrich
you did encounter a snapping turtle.
We did. So Hunter, our previous animal control officer, was on duty for patrol. I was
Yeah.
unfortunately not on duty,
Ah, okay.
but he did capture. It was about 3 feet
Woo.
big.
Wow.
This guy was living his best life for a while, but
Wow, snapping up a lot of.
yes,
Food.
they're an
Oh my
invasive
gosh.
species. Yeah, they're not native to Washington.
Okay.
So Department of Fish and Wildlife came and picked them up.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they're kind of dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll like
yes.
take a digit.
Absolutely.
Jeez,
Very
okay.
strong.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so you mentioned Fish and Wildlife. Is that a good resource for people if they want to find out more about?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
especially with our nuisance wildlife, you
Yeah.
know, people get a lot you in their yard and they're
Yeah.
like, what do I do with all these
Yeah.
raccoons?
Yeah.
So there are what you would call, I guess, wildlife operators, I think is their name. So you would go onto nuisance wildlife and they are listed on there. And we actually have some Kirkland
Like
agents,
Oh,
officers. Yeah.
wow. We have
That's
wildlife
do.
agents. We also have
Well, I mean, they're
That sounds really
located
cool.
soil
here. Yeah.
and water
yeah.
stewards.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I have the wrong job title. There's a lot of really cool.
There's some cool
like,
job and volunteer titles on this
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's
that's
just
amazing.
call it
Okay,
like it
so
is.
some more information, and we'll put that in the show notes
Okay, perfect.
on Fish and Wildlife. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Officer Angela Arnold, for being on our podcast.
Thank you for having
Well,
me.
we always love to have you.
And don't forget to license your pets with Kirkland Pet License.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that does it for this week, my friends. You've been listening to This Week in Kirkland. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Special thanks to Anthony Girardi and Kate Ryan for their behind-the-scenes magic. Thank you so much. Our next episode is February 27th. Until then,
Stay connected, Kirkland.